Warning, warning, warning. Your system has been hacked.
Hi everyone, I wanna play a game. Answer these two questions. Question number 1. What are the types of stem cells? Question number 2. Can we inject any type of stem cells directly in any organ or any place in human body? I guess you noticed when you came here that there is a plastic bags under your chairs. If you know the answer, use the pen, and if you don't, use the syringe. You only have 30 seconds. Starts now. Time is up. Now I will tell you what's common between stem cells and hacking. Hacking is about injection of a harmful program on any operation system, and the injected program will acclimate with the operation system data. Now let's go to the stem cells. Stem cells also can be injected to the human body, and it will take the shape and the function of any type of cells. And finally, enjoy the show.
Hi, I'm going to talk about stem cells. The human body contains organs just as bones, brain, heart, and reproductive organs. The basic cells that give rise to all of these different cells in those organs are called stem cells. One of the stem cells type is a fertilized egg from a woman. This single cell is called zygote, and it's the first cell in developing human being. It's also called a totipotent stem cell because it can form in any type of the body cells, as well as umbilical cord and placenta.
What stem cells are and what they can do for us. The human body is composed of over 200 cell types, each designated to a particular function. So, for example, a pancreatic cell is involved in the function of pancreas, and a nerve cell is involved in the function of either the brain or the spinal cord. A subset of cells, however, are different. Those are called stem cells. Stem cells have the capacity not only to make more stem cells, but also to make different cell types. For example, a skin stem cell can make all the cells of the skin. A muscle stem cell can make all the cells of the muscle, and a blood stem cell can make all the cell types of the blood. For many years, adult stem cells have been used therapeutically in the treatment of certain cancers and rare blood diseases. Broadly speaking, there are two types of stem cell. Embryonic stem cell that can generate all cell types of the human body, and adult stem cell that have more limited repertoire. Embryonic stem cells are derived from excess embryos that are left over from assisted fertility treatment like IVF. The embryos that would otherwise be destined for medical waste are harnessed to study human diseases and development in their laboratory. It's important to realize, however, that scientists do not make embryos purely for research purposes. Rather, they use the embryos that would otherwise be destined for medical waste. For example, in the treatment of diabetes or as a motor neuron disease, a problem is that doesn't appear to be adult stem cell that can make insulin screening cell of the pancreas, for example, or like motor neurons that are lost in the motor neuron disease. Scientists and clinicians, in order to find out what's going wrong and to fix what's going wrong, they need the type of stem cell that can generate that cell type relevant to the disease, so in certain instances embryonic stem cells are needed.
People frequently think about how stem cells can be used directly to treat disease. For example, for many decades, bone marrow and stem cells, they are contained blood stem cells, have been used in the treatment of certain cancers and rare blood diseases. Scientists and clinicians today are even more excited about the indirect use of stem cells as a research tools. We can learn more about how stem cells make a different cell types. We can use cells derived from stem cells to make better and more effective drugs. So, stem cells are in essence a source of a different cell types that you can use to generate new drugs and learn more about how disease happens. You know, it's frequently said in the media that embryonic stem cells are no longer required because of the advent of a new technology called induced pluripotent transduction. And this is simply not true, because embryonic stem cells will always be needed to study early human development and pathologies and diseases associated with those early stages of development. Back in 2007, scientists discovered that if they introduce certain genes into a cell, they can make the cell forget what it is. So that reverts back to something like an embryonic stem cell. So it's a little bit like hitting someone in the back of the head, and they forget that they are a particular type of person. Then they have to relearn what kind of person they are. But sometimes memories reemerge, and this is really where the state of research is. Can we make a cell completely forget what it was? And can you sustain that ongia long term within the cell? Is new induced pluripotent cease transaction is a very new technology, and we are still trying to find out how we can make cells forget what they are, so that they revert back to this stem cell-like state. But really it's too early to say for a lot of applications whether embryonic stem cells or induced pluripotent stem cell will be better at future.
Finally, there are many examples of patients who had stem cell therapy and they became well. Timothy Brown, who is also known as a Berlin patient, received a bone marrow stem cell transplant to treat his leukemia. The procedure eliminated HIV from his system, likely facilitated by mutation in the gene CCR5 in the donor cells that made him resistant to HIV.